Hello, everybody. We are live once again. I am Mark Little with CareQuest Solutions, and we had a little bit of a technical issue today. As you can see, my co-host, Ann Beasley, is not here with me, so I'm having to be solo today. She is missed. So, Ann, when you watch this, things happen. I get it. But she will be on the next show. But today I'm excited to have Kathy Halpin. I have met her we're both Rotarians. I met Kathy through the Rotary. Her nickname is Miss America. I'll let her explain that when she comes on. So without further ado, let me kick off this show and count it down. And when we get through with that, Kathy will be here with me. So let's do this. There she is, Miss America. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm great. How are you doing? I
Doing
wish I had my flag or something to be waving.
Why don't you let everybody in real quick on where did that come from, Miss America? How did I get that nickname for you?
Well, I try to make health insurance and employee benefits fun, and I have been known to put on costumes. And so this past 4th of July, I did exactly that. I put on I had on a tutu, an American flag on my back, draped on my back, and I popped in and delivered popcorn to my clients dressed as very American. And then I believe I worked the Rotary meeting, or I forget exactly, but they introduced me as Miss America at the Rotary meeting. So I love the red, white, and blue. I'll take it. I'll own it. I've got on some pretty blue today. So
absolutely.
That's hilarious. Thank you.
I tell you what, Kathy, real quick, why don't we get this started and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I am I don't want to say I was born. I can't say I was born in Georgia, but I was born in Florida, moved here to Peachtree City when I was 7 years old. So I'm a local Southside girl. I was in Peachtree City when there was no traffic lights. It was a blinky light. Wow. And so I grew up on these trails and watched this city come to what it is. And so I came back to Peachtree City. Back then, it was a city that you couldn't wait to get out of. But then I came back about 14 and a half years ago, single mom with my daughter. And I am trying to get the company name BeneTrend Partners out there as kind of a local footprint. 2.5 years ago, one of my former bosses and mentor, Scott Burrell, he passed away. Took the opportunity to buy the book of business from his family. And so I am out business owner trying to make health insurance fun, because there's nothing really fun about it. That goes from the seniors to the individual, the 64 and under. So from all angles, there's not a shade of lipstick or kind of nail polish to make it pretty. But if you're able to think outside the box and think about approach it differently, you can make it pretty. Yeah.
Well, let's help get some information out there about your company and about insurance and how that can help families, especially the seniors, and also how to get people to think about becoming a senior when they're not one, right? So you got people that are what we would call, what would that be? The sandwich generation. What is that?
So the sandwich is just a very out of the box approach to healthcare. The sandwich works for the senior. Some of the pieces work for the senior. They also work for individuals 64 and under. And the sandwich allows you to build your healthcare pretty much to what a Fortune 500 company has. People don't realize that you can have all these different layers and these different benefits, and you can build your sandwich to what's important to you. There's a lot of people walking around with nothing that, the seniors, they have the Medicare, that's great. But for the 64 and under, there's a lot of people walking around with nothing. Some of these sandwich pieces are less than $20 a month. So it works for budgets. And It's a sandwich that doesn't fill your belly, but it protects your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into that. And I think it goes without saying that life does sneak up on you, right? And a lot of people don't want to talk about insurance or pay for insurance or whatever, but it's kind of like the pay pay now or pay later. So why don't we, let's see, let me share the screen, add to stay. Here we go. Let's just kind of go over this. Here's your flyer. Here's a sandwich, and it literally just you did a good job of explaining the sandwich. So let's just start with that and start with the bread and what that represents, and we'll scroll through it and just make this sandwich, and people can add and take away what they think they do or do not need.
Sure. So I want to start out by saying that the sandwich is tried and true. It's how I protected my family for a number of years, and we've saved over $50,000 with this approach. The sandwich is, the bread. Everybody eats their sandwich differently. Some like to have cheese on it. Some like to have bread. However you have it, this allows you to build it your way. You can craft it to your budget and to your design. So the bread is life insurance. Life insurance is like taxes. It's the two guarantees. Taxes and death are the two things that are coming in our life. We don't know when, we don't know how, but life insurance is a benefit that if there's somebody that depends on the income, or if you have grandchildren or something that you want to carry on a legacy, life insurance could allow you to do that. Life insurance for seniors is a little bit more expensive, but there are pieces out there that can do guaranteed issue. And then for people that are 64 and under, I would say, know the difference between term and whole. Term, you rent; whole, you own your whole entire life. I wish somebody would told me when I was in my 20s to get some whole life insurance. That whole life insurance accrues cash. During COVID, people tapped into that whole life insurance. So bread. But there's a lot of people walking around with no life insurance. So again, it allows you to build it however you want it. So
yeah, well, let me add to that, to where what you had just said, to where we may touch on this later, is there's long-term care insurance, right, and policies. But what you had just mentioned, a variable term life insurance, is also a good thing to have, because it does have that instant death benefit, but over time, as you continue to live, it has that surrender value, to where you could use that to go towards care. That's actually a very good, especially if you're in your 30s. Jump on that now. Go ahead and take you out of policy. And just keep in mind that what is a lot of money now may not be down the road. So you could get a pretty decent policy that seeds over time. $1 million policy wouldn't break the bank.
Absolutely, you're right. And life insurance, if there's a lot of seniors that are working now. When I talk to people, the life insurance usually start reducing at age 65. But if 65 and up is still working, which a lot of people are. If you have an accident, if you have an opportunity for an accident plan, which is the cheese of the sandwich, I'll get to it. I would say hop on that all day long, because there's a death benefit in that as well.
Okay.
So bread. Yes, that's the life insurance.
All right. So what's the meat?
The meat is the health insurance. So whether it be that you're going, getting your health insurance through Medicare, or you're getting it through your employer, you're covered under your spouse, you're covered under your parents' plan, a short-term medical plan, all these different medical pieces that allow you to have different options. And so, what kind of meat do you have? There's all kinds of different meats. Short-term medical plans recently changed to where you could have those for 12 months. Recently changed to where you can only have those for 3 months, and then you have to get a different carrier. So there's a lot of things changing in the navigation of our world. And so just kind of knowing the landscape of what's out there is always good.
Right. Okay.
Cheese is my next one. So cheese is, I just had a grilled cheese sandwich today. So I had some accident and some life insurance. So, accident plan, I think everybody needs an accident plan. An accident plan is a plan that you can get from age 18 to 74, Mark.
So is that like a supplemental? It goes on top of your insurance, so where if you have an accident, you're going to be out, it has a daily payout type of thing?
Well, it'll not the daily payout. On some of the accident plans, it'll have
Hmm.
a hospital confinement. It'll give you a daily payout. But it's
Okay.
like if you break something, you're going to get for a fracture, maybe
Okay. Gotcha.
$4,000. If you have to have physical therapy, you're getting, $30 to $50 per physical therapy. If you're in intensive care, you're getting. How are you getting to the hospital? By ambulance, by helicopter. So all of
Mm.
these different things add up. And I just got my hair cut today, and so my hairdresser, she was in an accident, and so she was at home uh, painting, doing things that you love to do. She fell off of the ladder,
Mm.
then continued to roll down in another entire flight of steps. So first of all, she wasn't a good idea to be at home while you're on the ladder, but
Yeah.
she could have received about $12,000. I did a payout on her, and so
Oh, wow.
had she had an accident plan, and so she's a small business owner, had to close her shop for 4 weeks. So that accident plan pays you directly. You spend the money however you want to spend the money. Do you pay doctor bills? Do you pay hospital bills? Or do you pay your mortgage? Do you put food on your table? Do you pay rent? Do you go get your hair cut? I
Yeah.
have an accident plan. I've used it 5 different ways, from cutting my grass, playing softball, exercising, being in a car accident, and what was the fifth time? Playing with my dog, those really weird ones, cutting my grass, line drive. So all of those times I was doing things. And when I broke my elbow, I paid out about $755. I got a check for $1,700. I
Okay.
spent however I want to. So
What's a little idea like an accident plan? What's a how much would that cost someone on a monthly basis?
$25 for an individual, 25.
Wow.
Yeah, 24, actually
Wow.
24.91. So and that's a standard plan. So that's for anybody between ages of 18 to 74. It's guaranteed issue. It's jet issue. You could get the plan today and have it tomorrow.
It's almost an accident not to have it.
I know, I'm an accident waiting to happen. I
Well,
have,
let's talk about them maters. What's
yeah,
the mate?
the maters are dental. So again, ages 18 to 74. A lot of the Medicare plans will include the dental, so they won't need it. But in this dental, there's nothing out there that coordinates with the Medicare dental plans. I looked into
Okay.
into that recently for somebody. But individual dental plans are out there all day long. You can get 100% coverage for day one. You'll have some waiting periods for some major services. But depending on your age, your county, your zip code, dental plans, or you don't want teeth, seeds stuck in your teeth. So take care of that. And so a dental plan
Yeah.
is
A
standalone.
little tip I'll throw in there, and not all dental offices do this, but the dentists I go to, they have their own little option that they offer to where you can get an annual plan through them to where it gives you a discount on things. So for people that don't have dental insurance, don't hesitate to ask your dentist if they have any internal plan as well that could help offset cost or whatever. So just a little tip
Absolutely.
there.
And be a consumer. Check it out. I mean, we're
Yeah.
a consumer with every aspect of our life. We have to be a consumer with these pieces as well.
Yeah. And it's pretty good. You did vision with onions. I like that.
Yep. So, yeah, my daughter, she wears goggles sometimes when she cuts the onions. So, vision, vision benefits out there, again, from 18 to 74 and on up. Standalone, whether you have a nice allowance to go towards any contacts or any frames.
Hmm.
And an eye exam is usually about $10. If not, sometimes it's free as well.
Okay. All right. And this is a serious ingredient, which is the pickles. And these kind of things happen every day. My good friend, and he worked with me. He just had 2 small strokes. So let's talk about the pickles.
Yeah. So the pickle is the critical illness. And anytime someone's, getting hit with a chronic illness, sometimes it'll put you in a financial pickle. And so
Yeah.
the pickle critical illness it's kind of like that accident plan. It's that supplemental plan that pays you money and you spend that money directly however you want, or it's paid to you and you spend it however you want. But
Yeah.
critical illness will cover heart attack, stroke, as you mentioned, and
Mm.
cancer. So if you are hit with any of those big diagnoses, lump sum money comes to you. Do you need to pay for somebody to come in from a different state to help take care of you? You spend the money however you want to spend the money.
Gotcha. All right. And then we get into the lettuce. What this gets into cancer, which is, like you're saying, is the second most common cause of death in the U.S. exceeded only by heart disease. So let's talk about the lettuce and the type of coverage you can get. Is it a specific coverage like the lettuce? Is it a
Well, some people want just cancer plans, and you can
okay?
have both. You can have the pickles and the lettuce if you choose to have that.
Okay.
Cancer, the question is, does cancer run in your family? Cancer is all in my family. And so it's the cancer plan's a plan that's not a lump sum. It's a benefit that pays by the diagnosis. Not everybody needs to have radiation. Not everybody needs to have chemotherapy.
Okay.
And so this cancer plan pays out, each battle is different, and it's a big battle whenever somebody's got to put on those boxing gloves to duke it out. But this is a benefit that, do you need to have, are you in intensive care? Do you need to have blood transfusions? Do you have to have the chemo? So it's a benefit that pays per kind of service, if you will, or
Right.
treatment.
Okay. All right. Let's get spicy and talk about the jalapenos. What's telemedicine?
So telemedicine, I love telemedicine. Telemedicine made a big appearance during COVID. Doctor's offices.
Is that your phone?
It is my phone. And
okay.
So, I got to. Sorry, you can hear that.
That's
anyway,
right.
hopefully they leave a message. And so telemedicine, but telemedicine has actually been around for 14 years. And so
really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't think it'd been around that long.
This is a benefit that, if you have nothing, at least get a telemedicine benefit. Telemedicine works great for that acute minor illness, strep, bronchitis, flu, bug bites, rashes, UTIs, those types of things. It's 24/7, 365 days a year. You can use it from your desk, from your bed, while you're out of town. For less than $20, an individual can have access to a telemedicine doctor.
Okay.
And
that's becoming really popular, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, this is always my favorite ingredient is bacon, but why is it? I don't want to think about bacon and disability, but
everything with bacon on it, I think, is better. And
exactly.
And disability, you know what, Mark? Disability is one thing I'm very passionate about. Like, we all got up today and we were able to get up out of bed and we were able to brush our teeth. We were able to, get in our car, turn the key, and we were able to do all of those things.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than watching a loved one or yourself being able not to do those things. So we all get up to go to work to, go bring home the bacon.
Yeah.
I grew up the generation, I remember the commercial, I can bring home the bacon, up in the pan. And so that's where I get the bacon from. But bacon protects your income. It protects your paycheck.
Okay.
And nothing worse than being fine one day and then not being okay the next day due to an accident or an illness or whatever the situation is. The disability piece is going to protect your paycheck. So, true story, I have a friend right now who, oh my God, just is amazing. He's walking 12 steps. He went to the doctor on a Thursday, was sent home on Thursday, was taken back to the emergency room on a Friday. All he could do was this for a year. He was in a bed.
Wow.
But thank God he had his income still protected, because guess what? The medical bills piled up.
Yeah.
And so that was one less worry for his wife and him. Disability, it protects your paycheck. So,
really,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just hearing you, look under the pickles, critical illness. So a pickle can turn into a bacon, to where if you have a stroke, some people don't get over that completely, and it turns into a permanent disability. So I guess it'd be a combination of that.
Exactly.
To be covered properly, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
And with the disability, I do the true disability where there's pieces, it's underwritten. And then I also have disability that it works for the bartenders, the servers. It works for a bunch of different occupations. So disability, protect your paychecks.
Yeah. Well, this is something that's important to me, and this is a special sauce. When you get into mental health, and I don't think there's enough covering that. And even if you have coverage, it's hard to get treatment. It's hard to find, those that can step in and do what's right, because it's such a an enigma, but talk a little bit about the special sauce.
So the special sauce, mental health, this is a piece that for $50 a month, a solopreneur could get this, and they would have unlimited access to the psychiatric doctor and the therapist as well. I've been walking mental health waters with my daughter, not ashamed of it. It's a stigma that people need to kind of get over. And so they are very choppy and they're very hard to navigate. I'm in the industry and I can tell you there were days where I would just break down and cry.
Yeah.
It's a 4-month wait to go see a psychiatric doctor. And then you can't find somebody that's in network. And if you do, it's, the 4-month wait. Well, you can't wait 4 months.
Yeah.
And so that special sauce is it's so cool. And in that special sauce, you for that $50 a month, and that could go with group benefit as well. That's a different thing. But for $50 a month, they get that unlimited access to the mental health and they get telemedicine. So it's kind of a two-for. So if anybody needed that, scratch the jalapenos and just do the special sauce.
Scratch the jalapeno. And don't touch your eyes afterwards.
Exactly.
But, I'm glad you shared that. Even with your daughter, it is nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, and also, I'm not kidding when I say this. I mean, when you think about, as entrepreneurs, it doesn't. I'm just using that as an example. The stress of trying to build a business and going through life and dealing with it, and all to where we all struggle at times with our life battles of the mind, and just there's nothing to be ashamed of. And people that pretend like, I'll say this and then I'll get off the horse. People would be stunned and surprised how many people around them are on meds for anxiety, depression, this and that. So it's a huge topic and it's a huge thing. So there is nothing to be ashamed of.
The way I look at that is, the diabetic, if that person needs insulin, are they going to take their insulin? Absolutely. They're going to take their insulin. So
absolutely.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Nope. Well, let's get into the mayonnaise, which is the hospital.
So that's my newest kind of piece. I've added a couple of pieces. So the hospital layer, again, this is a standalone, ages 18 to 74.
Oh, it's a standalone?
Yeah, it's a standalone.
Okay.
So people get to build their sandwich however they want to have it. If they just want mayo, they can have just mayo. And so this is the benefit that if you go into the hospital, it's going to pay you. It's
like
that supplemental piece. It's going to.
This is really good.
Yeah.
This is really good. All right. Well, let's break on down. Oops, over here. Let's now we got some fruit.
Yeah, we got fruit and chips, and so I'm being mindful of time. So fruit is annuities. Be fruitful. Let your money make money.
Right.
As you're retiring, if you have some money in your 401k, maybe don't put all your eggs in one basket. Look into an annuity. There's usually a guarantee on it. And so there's annuities out there that aren't tied to the marketplace. There's annuities that are tied to the marketplace. And there's annuities out there right now with a 5.5 guarantee, which is, you're not going to get that. It's hard to find. Okay. So annuities, be fruitful on that. And then chips is, this is a great ending, Mark.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh, hang on now. Because speaking of which, we're in talks of having a little bit of a little playlist together, right? Me, you, and Ann coming on and breaking some of this down. And this is getting into a good topic of long-term care and hybrid. So jump on the chips here.
So the chips, if somebody needs long-term care, you're going to get to the bottom of your nest egg quickly, like you would get to the bottom of the bag of your favorite flavor of chips.
Yeah.
And so they will come get your house. They'll, Mark, they'll come get everything. And so people are saving for their whole entire life, but they don't have a long-term care plan. And so.
Well, I want to give a sobering, factual, real life example right now. Is years ago, my mom and dad took out long-term care insurance, and they have a grandfather clause, which means there's no cap to it. Well, when they took it out, 170 a day was pretty strong. Back when they took it out 25, 30 years ago.
Yep.
Well, fast forward, and mom had to activate her policy. Well, mom's also home with hospice and she's home with 24-hour care. And so they're staying home. And so after insurance, they're burning through $9,000-$10,000 a month out of pocket.
Wow.
So it's like, you can't stress enough the importance of someone sitting down with you, Kathy, and going through this sandwich. And when you're younger, it's easy to go, I got plenty of time. Right. However, long-term care insurance doesn't just mean because you're getting older, even though CareQuest, we're in the senior world, you could have something happen that all of a sudden you need long-term care.
Yeah, that's so
You
true.
know, so it's a very important thing to look into. But anyway, I didn't mean to take that
Oh,
that
no,
away from you, but
I preach it.
so so look, this is really good, Kathy. I love how you broke this down and using the building a sandwich. And as you can see, that's quite a tiring sandwich there, but there's a lot. But I think it's so neat for people to realize that you literally can separate it out. But obviously, there's an all encompassing, like I want the entire sub loaded up. So there's a policy that covers the everything, right?
Everything.
With some to spare. So, is there anything else you would like to add before we go here?
Yes. So it is today is, oh gosh, what's today? Today is October the 8th. And
Yeah.
so October the 15th, open enrollment is opening for 65 and plus Medicare. There's a lot of pieces of the sandwich that would layer beautifully on top of their Medicare.
Did you say October 15th?
October 15th.
Through
October 15th through December the 7th is when Medicare.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So I don't do Medicare. Jennifer, you guys had Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer's coming. She's coming back on again. So matter of fact, what we could do is, why don't we get with Ann to get with you to schedule? Let's have you come back on and let's do a show on that during this period. And then, Jennifer's coming on the Medicare, Medicaid side, and we could even do a blended show between now and then, because I know that there's a lot going on in her world there's the timings of when you can and can't and all that stuff.
That October date, that's for the Medicare. For it's 64 and under, the open enrollment date is November the 1st through December 15th. So there is, but these sandwich pieces can go on top of your Medicare, or it can go on top of your individual ACA, which, oh, by the way, Georgia's pulling off of the marketplace this year. They're going to Georgia Access. So a lot of changes going on. And people can just, again, build their benefits very much like a Fortune 500 company, being mindful of the budget and building the benefits with a purpose.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Kathy, fantastic job. I love what you're doing here. I love the way you really lay it out to where there's no confusion to it at all. I think it's just a matter of people taking the time to sit down with you and picking and choosing and get something, right? Just get something. And grow into it. But anyway, with that said, Mark Little with CareQuest. This is Kathy Halpin. Am I saying that right?
Halpin, yes. Thank you.
Halpin, okay.
Thank you for letting me be here. I really appreciate
it. And I look forward to having you back again. And I'll be seeing you hopefully at the next Rotary meeting. I haven't been able to make the last few. I missed the last one, but
I'll be there this Thursday. So hopefully I'll see you there.
Okay. Well, Kathy, thank you again. And I'm Mark Little with CareQuest. If you have any loved ones that need help with assisted living, memory care, even independent living, in-home care or in-home health, we do that free of charge. And so if anybody that you know is going through that, we would love to serve your family on that. And Shelley Black said, Kathy is a superstar. Yes, she is.
Thank you. Thank you, Shelley.
Thanks for doing the show and your support. Take this and use it to your heart's content to get as many people out there to come and talk to you about building their sandwich. So until next time, I'm Mark Little, CareQuest Solutions, and we will catch you later.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. Bye.